Well, hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Elegant Sentiments Today. I'm Cheryl Abernathy, and I'm the owner of Elegant Sentiments, and this is weekly card share number 58. And as you can see, again, I've got some beautiful Lisa Horton products here that we're going to be using for today's card. First, we have the Dottie Magnolia Heart 3D embossing folder and the coordinating layering stencils and the edge cut symmetrical circles. This is a craft die set. So those are the three main products. And then for our inks, I've got Woodland Moss. These are all, well, not all, but matte blending inks. I've got Woodland Moss, Rusty Nails, and Pina Colada. And then I've got the Copper Pot metallic inks. And if you haven't seen them, Lisa does have a brand new set of 10 metallic inks. They are beautiful colors, and I got mine today. I'm so excited. I'm going to be crafting with them soon, but you'll want to check out, if you're here in the States, you can get them at scrapbook.com, and they have today, at least, there's a coupon out there for 10% off, so you might want to take advantage of that. And then for interference inks, we've got Sweet Treat Shimmer. So those are the inks that we're going to be using. And here is our project. It is a little note card. So sweet. I love that. And so that is the project that we're going to make. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to do is bring in these edge cut dies. I typically have this stuff out of the package, but not today, unfortunately. So this is the first thing we're going to do. Is I'm going to use this there's 3 dies in this set, and I'm going to use this big scalloped die, this one with the scallops on the symmetrical circles. So we're going to use that, and what we're going to do, I have a piece of white cardstock that's 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to I want to line that up onto a piece on this cardstock, and then I want to line it at the top of this cardstock. And okay, so I think that'll work. And I'm going to take that down so that it doesn't move when I run it through my die cut machine, because I really want to make sure. Oops. There we go. I'll just tape that up and then run it through my die cutting machine. Okay. So then I have this piece, and I'm going to use this piece to line up to an A2 size card base. So I'm going to line that up right on the front of that card base, like so. And I'm going to, let me use this tape that's not, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to tape that so that it doesn't move, and then I'm going to run this through and cut the front of the well, I'm not going to run it through with that, actually. I need to do the most important thing. I need to put the die on there. Get this die off of here. I'd be really working magic if I could make that cut, wouldn't I? So I'm just going to even that up to match this. Okay. I want to bring this down just a wee bit. Just a teeny bit. Hope you're doing well today, wherever you may be. If you're watching remotely, thank you for stopping by and joining me. I appreciate it. And if you are not signed up for my webpage, if you could do that. I'm on Facebook. ElegantSentiments.com is my blog, and then I have a Facebook page, Elegant Sentiments Limited. And if you would join me there as well, I'll be eventually doing some lives on Facebook. So now that I have this lined up, I can actually move this. Well, I can leave it there, and I'm just going to go ahead and die cut this piece that's on my card front. Okay. So get this tape out of my way. And lift this up. And a teeny bit on there. Okay, so we've got our panel, and then we've got our card base now that has the scalloped edge. So we'll lay this aside for now, and then we'll go ahead and get started doing our inking on this piece that we will eventually adhere to our card front. Just getting this little bit of tape off. Okay. So I'm going to bring in my Ultimate tool here. And let's see, what else do I want? I want to get my layering stencils. And these, again, these are the Dottie Magnolia layering stencils that we're going to use. And there are 8 stencils in this set. And it does go very quickly. And what I want to do here is line this up so that the heart is in the center of this piece. As close to the center as I can get it. And that looks pretty good to me right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down onto my tacky mat. And then the first color that I'm using is the Copper Pot for my dots. So I'll bring that in. And we'll just go around and create our background with the dots. I can't remember if I've done this one. I know I've done this for other activities. I don't know if I've used this one yet for Elegant Sentiments, but here we go. I like using new products. She's got a lot of new products out that came out last week. And of course, I have my order in, and I'm going to be looking for them. I did order the new metallic inks. And as I said, I got those today, and oh gosh, they are really pretty. There's a ton of videos out on YouTube if you want to see what those colors are and what they look like. if you go to YouTube and just search for Lisa Horton Crafts, they'll pop up because they're the newer videos and they're fabulous. There's lots of videos. Some of Lisa's master crafters are demonstrating, Lisa's demonstrating, and some of the design team have added some gorgeous, gorgeous products or projects using the new products. It's beautiful. Just beautiful. I can't wait to get my hands on them. Okay, so that's stencil number 1 with the copper. So you can see the heart there, and we're just going to keep going. This is, I guess I should give that a second or two. It doesn't take long to dry, but I don't want to smush up any of my dots. So I'll give it a second before I push it down. I see one spot here that's particularly wet. So we'll try and let that dry just a second. And I am done with the copper pot, so I'll go ahead and put that back. And then the next color, I'm going to bring in this Sweet Treat. This is an interference ink. And this one, for those that don't know, if you use the interference ink on white cardstock, you get this yellowish color. And then if you use it on dark cardstock, you get a pinkier color. Really, really fabulous inks. Very versatile. And all of her inks, except for the Swift Dry, are water soluble. Okay, so there we have stencil number 2, and we're going to go around just the outside of the heart here with this Sweet Treat shimmer. This is that interference ink. We're just going around the edges, all around the perimeter of the visible part of the heart, not worrying too much about what's underneath the flower, and just kind of going heavy at the edges and bringing it in a little feathery towards the inside, and just going around. And just carrying out a little bit into the heart, but not all the way to the center. And a little more over here, I think. Okay, and that's stencil number 2. Oh, I don't like this little part right here. Let's put a little more there. Okay, so that's stencil number 2. Then we'll go on to stencil number 3, and we'll start working on our florals. And for this one, I've chosen, I'm using Pina Colada. And I just want for this first layer, and when you're doing Lisa stencils, these lines that show up here, that's that first layer. So I really want that, as you can see, that's going to be really light. So I want to have a real light dusting of color for this one. Not a whole lot of color, but just enough so that you can see that it's there. And then we're going to build on this color as we add more color to our flower. That's stencil number 3. On to stencil number 4. And we're going to add a little more color here. with our pina colada. Getting it deeper. And just get a nice coating of the pina colada, because I'm going to come in with some rusty nails to give it a little more dimension on those flowers. So we got a nice solid color of the pina colada there. And now we're going to bring in rusty nails and grab those edges a bit to add a little contrast to our color, to our flower, a little contrasting color that's on our flower. That's what I was trying to say. Just kind of going around those edges again and bringing the color down in a little bit. Hope you're having a good week. I'm not doing too bad. And then here, want a little more of that orange right there. So that's kind of, I think that's kind of the look we're going for here. There we go. And that is stencil number 4. And now we're going to start on our greenery. Move this out of the way for now and bring in the woodland moss. And just going to just go around. I don't want them really dark. Actually, I think I want to start in the center and kind of work my way up on these. The little babies, I'll just make them more solid. But I'm going to push this up a little bit so you can see better what I'm doing. Just starting at the base and carrying that color out to the tip. And then I'm going to come back in with some of the sweet treat on the tips, just to give a little variety of color to our leaf. And let's see if we can find the right. Here we go. And just, I don't want a lot, but just enough to give it a little variation in the color. And I might even put a little bit of rusty nails on there too. Just a teeny bit. Doesn't need a lot, just a little. Okay. It looks pretty decent. All right, so that's stencil number 5. We got 3 more to go. I told you this was really quick. So we're just going to do the same thing on our leaves. Grab our woodland moss, starting at the center. Oh, I need to re-ink this pad. It's getting kind of dry. And just move that up. And this guy is tip of the leaf there. Yeah, this pad is on the dry side, but that's okay. We can still make it work. And these little guys, I'm just gonna let them be pretty solid. They don't all have to be the same. Okay, then I'll come in with my sweet treat again as soon as I can find where I put my brush. There it is. And I'm sure you already know, but when you're using interference inks and metallic inks, you really want to keep those brushes separate. You don't want them to be the same because of the composition of the inks. It's just not recommended that you. Then I'll put a teeny bit of Rusty Nails on these, just like we did the last ones. And grab this one. I think that'll be good enough, I think. Okay, so that is stencil number 6. And we've got 2 more to go. Continuing with more of the greenery on the leaves. And so we're going to do the same thing. Third verse, just like the second and the first, with the leaves. And then we do have the flower centers there, so we're going to pick those up this time. But these leaves, we're going to do them just like we did the other ones. Really quick and easy. My kind of card making. And we'll come in with a little bit of sweet treat on this bigger leaf here. And a teeny bit of Rusty Nails. I probably had enough ink left on there to do what I wanted to do with this one. I think. Okay, and then for the flower center, I'm just going to use the base of the center of one flower. Just going to use Rusty Nail, and the center of this other flower, the smaller flower, Rusty Nails as well. And so that takes care of stencil number 7. Almost done. And then here is our last stencil. And I'm going to put a teeny bit of Pina Colada on that one. Not a lot because I want it to stay still pretty light. So I'll just use the ink that's on the brush. It should be enough to get it the darker color that I want. And then we'll go in with the woodland moss to put the detail on the leaves. And my ink pad is really dry, so if you've got a lot of ink on your brush when you're doing this part, you might want to ink it off a little bit. We're just going to go around and pick up those details on all those leaves. Okay, so that is it for the stenciling. I'll put my lids back on all my inks. And then, oh, let's see. Where's my little pokey tool? I'm always losing that thing. Oh, there it is. Okay, so there is our card front. Almost done. So the next thing we want to do is run it through the embossing folder. And this one is pretty easy to line up. I want to make sure I got it in the right way. And we'll just, I'm focusing on the leaves and the flowers and the dots. All three. You got to get all those lined up. Let's see here. There we go. Well, we got the dots are looking. There we go. Well, the dots look pretty good. Now, how are we doing with the leaves? We got our flowers not quite where it needs to be. I'm trying to hold the flowers where I want them to be and then move it around just to get that. There, I think that looks pretty good. And then I'll run this through my embossing machine. Die cut, embossing, same machine. And we'll be ready to put our card together. Okay, so there we go. And we've got our embossing now. I don't know if you can look at that shimmer. That's so beautiful. But it's got that texture. I guess you can see the texture better on the back. But it's got beautiful texture. And so we'll take our card base that we prepped earlier in live, and we're just going to line it up to our card front, and then we'll glue that down. I'm going to use glue so that I have a little bit of control, a little more control over adding it to the card front. I'm just mostly worried about the edges, but of course you can put glue wherever you want it. And you can use tape runner for this too. It's not like it's really hard to line up, but I just like giving myself a little, having that extra wiggle room helps sometimes. Okay. So then we'll just line this up with our card base. Make sure those edges are good all around. And then I'll take my bone folder and make sure we got some good contact there. Okay, and then I want to take the ink that I have left on my brush here. I might need to re-ink it because it's not quite as dark as I want it to be, but we'll see how much ink we can get out of this brush. And just go along that edge and add some color, and I'm definitely going to need more because this is not as dark as I want it at all. So we'll just bring in a little more color and just bring that down the side. And you can use This color, you could, the sweet shimmer would work well also. That's what I did. I used the shimmer on the first one and the pina colada on this one. So both of them will work because you got both of these colors in your card. And you don't have to go over too far, just enough to cover what's showing, what's exposed when the card is closed. So need a little more down here and up here. Okay, so the only thing we have left to do now is add the sentiment. I'm gonna get this ink cleaned up though. Let me get a rag here and clean this up before it ends up on the back of my card. Okay, so we have that. And then for my sentiment, I have already foiled my sentiment. You're a great friend. I'm not sure whose that is. If you want to know, I can look it up. Just leave me a comment and I'll look it up and let you know. But I don't remember offhand who it is. But I'm going to put it on with some foam squares. No, nah, I don't think I want the foam squares. I'm just going to glue it down. I think I want it better just glued down. And I have another card I'll show you here in a second. If you happen not to have an edge cutting die that you can use to make your card like this, you can still make it. It doesn't matter. And let's see. And I think it looks good right about there. And there you go. Here's the other card that I was telling you about. It is the exact same card, but if you don't have that edge die, you can still make this card. Just don't do the edges. So there you go. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed my card. I appreciate you being here, and we'll see you next week. I'll be back next Thursday with another card to share. Have a wonderful week and live graciously. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.